Welcome to the 11th installment in our Where and Elan series. Today we are covering the most recent release and first book in the Rise and Fall series, Nolan. First thing you might notice is that the official map for Nolan is black and white. So let's go ahead and update that. That's better. Before we start with the actual events in the book, let's recap where our characters have been over the last 800 years. This isn't a comprehensive summary, but we will include what we know. Around the year 16, Persephone, Nephron, Nolan, Tekchin, Moya, Sephron, Roan, Gifford, and Bran are all in Persepolis as the city has been completed. Persephone dies, and Nephron sends Nolan to fight in the Grenmorian War. Around the year 25, Tekchin, Moya, and Sephron moved to Meridid, and then a couple years later, Roan dies. In the year 45, Bran is arrested by Nephron, and then 2 months later, Nolan returns from the war. He then goes down to the Mystic Wood and comes back with Suri, who is able to free Bran. A couple of years later, Moya dies, and Sephron moves back to Persepolis. In the year 52, we know Sephron, Bran, and Nolan all live in the city. Bran then travels southwest to Dulgath, where he will set up his first monastery, and sometime later travels far to the east and is not heard from again. Nolan returns north to fight in the First Gazelle War in Fendel Durat. After slaying Lord Rog and ending that goblin war, Nolan goes far to the southwest to a salt mine where he works for hundreds of years, with only brief trips back to Persepolis. Then he goes back to Persepolis a final time before heading to Kalinia and meeting the 7th Sick Ox. During these 800 plus years, Wandelay is also west of the Nidwalden River, often with Trylos. We know he went several places, such as a castle on the Green Sea, Marinonia, and Persepolis. He heads to Erlanius before the book begins. Continuing on with the human characters in Nolan, Brother Seymour is born in Rodensia and joins the Dibben Monastery. He then travels to Persepolis. Amicus Killian was in Persepolis for his famous arena battle before fleeing to Kalinia. Continuing on with the rest of the 7th Sick Ox members, Gerald Demartefield came from Marinonia, outside of Mian. Riley Glott came from a little village near Vernace, while Weldon Smirch was from Rodensia. Ramahana Paris Merk came from Dagestan. Azuriah Myth was Kalinian, and Everett Thatcher had just joined. This is where the Book of Nolan begins. Nolan and the 20 other members of the 7th Sick Ox are in the Urbon Forest when they realize they are trapped and send Everett to get help from Erlanius. They then clash with the Gazelle. Back in Persepolis, Brother Seymour and Sephron meet, while Zephron realizes her son has been taken. Cut back to the 7th Sick Ox. After the battle, Nolan and Amicus meet back up. Then Myth and Smirch arrive, and finally Gerald, Riley, and Merk. They go and bury the 13 members who died, and then start heading downstream towards Erlanius. Before they can reach the city, night falls and the Gazelle attack again, but Everett has returned with the 5th Regiment. They then return to Erlanius, where Wandelay is. Wandelay kills Demetrius and uses his identity as a disguise. Back in Persepolis, Zephron is meeting with Errol. Nolan and Amicus are meeting with the legate, who is then killed. The 7th Sick Ox takes Wandelay as prisoner and flee aboard a ship, Striker, down the SD River and towards the sea. In Persepolis, Zephron is meeting with Augustine Brinkle, and Arvis is going into the sewer for the first time. The striker reaches the sea and starts northwest along the coast. At this time, Trylos is taking over Seymour's body. The striker reaches Vernace, and Nolan talks the Second Legion into joining in the revolt. Siccar arrives in Persepolis from Meridid, and Augustine delivers the emerald to Nephron. Tekchin also leaves Meridid towards Persepolis, but is stopped and turns around. Nolan and the 7th Sick Ox travel up the Urim with the 2nd Legion and dock on the east side of the river, where they rendezvous with the 1st Legion. Nolan, Mwandale, and Gerald then cross to Persepolis so that Nolan can meet with Nephron. As the Gazelle attack begins, the rest of the 7th Sick Ox are then chased across the river to Persepolis by the Legion soldiers. Nephron is killed, but the Gazelle are beaten back thanks to Sephron and the 7th Sick Ox. Tekchin then finally reaches the capital, Sephron and Nolan are married, and that's where the first book in the Rise and Fall series ends.
Thank you so much for watching today's video. Be sure to subscribe and watch my other videos to learn more about the world of Elan and Riyria. Thanks!